Hello.
Hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, I don't know why is my camera twitching like this all the time.
Yeah, mine's being kind of slow. Oh yeah, you're like green
I'm
and pretty.
twitching. I know. It was happening last time too.
Kind of pretty. Kind of like it. Let's see.
Really annoying. Huh, that's weird. I wonder if that's something wrong with my camera.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'm
I
not
don't know how to
like
fix it though.
yeah, I'm not savvy. Like my go-to is like, you know, turn the computer off and turn it back on again and like, see if there's an update, but that's about as far as I can go with
No,
all of
I know, I know. Because this computer is not very old, and so I'm like, oh no, that's gonna be a problem with camera. I don't know.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. And then it fixes itself, and then it goes into that crazy mode again. I don't know, but right now we're good. So here we go.
Yeah, it's like, we'll do what we can. Yeah, because
I
like
know, right?
it's like in the moment, you're
Oh,
just
see
like
it going again. I know. It's
I
just
like my internet isn't stable a lot of the time. And so I was in a work Teams meeting the other day and it was just like I couldn't hear or catch anything. And I'm like, this is so embarrassing. But I don't know what to do about it. I can't do anything. It's not my control. So I mean, there's no reason to be embarrassed, but it's still
yeah,
like frustrating. But like they're like, oh, can you try doing this and that? And I'm like, trust me, I'm doing everything I know how to do to fix this. So,
exactly.
well, we'll see if anybody else is able to pop on here. I really want to shift it more into, like keeping it to our, accountability and goals and like, what we can do together as a team to like move forward for everybody within our goals. So it's like if you want to get to executive by June for the reset, or if you're like, I want to make this much more money, or I'm trying to do XYZ, this call is meant to come up with ideas and develop and work together on ways for each one of us to get there. And so if there's something that just doesn't seem to be fitting in that category, then like we're also here to be like, it's okay to let it go, like move on. So
Yeah,
that's
no, that's for sure. It is I really wish that more people would be on this call
yeah.
because I don't know, like for me again, I know I talk about it all the time, but I am going through probably the worst time of my life. Well, one of the worst, because when I lost my mom, that was pretty hard.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, if we didn't have all this support,
Hmm.
I don't even know where I would be right now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I
Because
think
it is so easy to give up, when things get hard and, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Like this is not my priority. But it also helps me to, still keep my focus on, building it because I do believe in this business. I believe in this product and the support is super important. So I really, really hope that at some point more people will realize that, you know,
yeah. I know it's hard, when things don't match up, it's like you see people who are just killing it and running it and doing all this stuff. And like, we don't really know what's going on in anybody's lives, but it's like when, there's just different seasons that we're in, it's like with you, everything you're going through right now, it's like, this is your anchor, and it's a place that you can come and feel safe. And I mean, whether share details or not, like we know that, like your strength is seen, like we can see what you're doing to get through all of this and where your, intentions lie and where your goals are and all of that stuff. And it's like, it's so much deeper than just like the superficial crap. It's not like you're sitting here like building, there's people that see the superficial goals in Isagenix, right? And then there's people that see the deep, meaningful, like forever opportunity of just really helping people and improving your life and that of the future, your kids and all those things. And so I do wonder also, like what life would be like in California if I'd never been introduced to Isagenix. And it's like, I don't know that I'd do half of the things that I do. I don't know where I would be, like mentally, physically, like what my relationship would be like with so many people. Just there's just so much. So it's like not spending too much time thinking about all of the what ifs, but it's like taking the time to just get back to gratitude. So I love your attitude and everything and appreciate you sharing, and on all of that. So
Yeah, no, that's so true. And the personal growth and development, and like you said, gratitude and all the different skills we got because of network marketing, the affirmations and meditation, like none of it would happen if we weren't part of this incredible company and, the community and learning from people that are in network marketing, because there's a lot of very, very special people who really care, and so gosh, like our goal is I started kind of doing more reels about network marketing and just trying to, expose my passion for this industry, because I get it, there are a lot of stereotypes and stuff. You know what? Can I ask you a question really quick before we start? I know we have a schedule, but are they discontinuing Isodelites completely, or is it just like I'm so confused about all the stuff that kind of going out of the catalog.
What I saw on one of the like Leaders in Loops emails or something like that is that they were planning on discontinuing some of the flavors and they didn't have like a replacement, but I was not under the understanding that they were all leaving, but I did understand that the distribution center was not cooperating, just like the same thing with the chocolate coated plant-based bars. So they were trying to find another one, but they weren't putting it top priority because they're not a big seller. And so I don't know if they're keeping milk and dark chocolate or the peanut butter or whatever, but like I'd have to go back and look and see which one they were like completely discontinuing. I'm pretty sure it was like the mint chocolate was completely gone. But it might have also been the milk chocolate. I don't remember.
So that was my understanding, that they were discontinuing some flavors, but not the product completely, right?
Yeah.
And then what about Bia? They just discontinued the Berry Bellini, right? The other two we still have. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And there's a new flavor coming out. It's going to be slightly different. It's a Bia Biotic, and it's coming out in around April, and it's going to be ginger flavored, caffeine free, but you get natural energy from ginseng. So it's going to be, morning type drink. And I thought it was delightful. It was very refreshing. Ginger can sometimes be spicy or kind of harsh, and it was not at all. It was very like lemony kind of to me. So it was almost like a nice summer drink, and it was sparkling. And so that will be good. I wondered why we didn't use ginseng in our stuff, because some other companies use a lot of ginseng.
I agree. So we got the new plant-based bars. I know that. And then, so we're gonna have a new flavor of Bia. And then is there anything else? Because I've seen they're changing the packaging, right? Which looks amazing. Very nice and clean. So is there anything else that they're adding or changing?
From the nutritionist's mouth, they said there's more gut stuff coming, but I didn't get a date. So when I asked them about, the probiotics, completely fell off. And I was like, so we still have the triotic. Is that, everything? Because my stepmom went into the catalog and searched probiotic and nothing came up. But when you go into triotic, it says first line, this is a probiotic. And so it's just not searching that way. And she said that's a tech problem, not a nutrition problem. And so they said there's a lot more gut stuff coming. And so
that's great.
Must be the research. So Elaine sometimes knows
hey
deep information. So we were just kind of doing a rundown. the Isa Delights they're discontinuing a couple flavors, but not altogether. Is that your understanding?
My understanding was that it's being discontinued.
Completely? All of them?
As far as I know, I didn't hear anything about it coming back at this time. When I was talking to customer service VIP, they were under the impression that it might not be coming back.
Okay. Yeah, I know Mike Mallory told Robin that it was low priority, so they weren't
Yeah.
in a rush.
Well, because it was hard to
That's
find
all.
the factory to. It's a very specific process, is what
Yeah.
the scientists were telling us, and so when they were having issues of like finding the right people because the other factory didn't had an issue, then that was hard.
Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about that. We were talking about the new Bia. And then they told me, the scientist nutritionist, so it was like, I can't remember her dang name, but she does the podcast and she does isogenics health.net and dang, I can't remember her name.
Sarah?
Not Sarah Richter, but there was other two gals.
Oh.
One is Taylor Melham, and then the other soft spoken one. But I was talking to those two, Taylor and the other lady, and Dr. Gump was just like a couple people away, and Sarah Richter was a couple people away, and they were saying there's a lot of gut health stuff coming. So I just didn't say what. So yeah,
I love that.
I brought up two questions for them. One is, one of Molly's people was like really, really specific about knowing exactly how much is in each nootropic elixir of like all of the ingredients. And I was like, I did my best to tell them, about like our, why we call it proprietary blend, like the competition, stealing our, all that stuff, whatever. But I'm like, what is the process to like get to a nutritionist and like dietitian and like actually ask them questions like that? And they said, well, you always call customer service first, you ask your question, they will try to answer it. And then if they can't, then they email it to us and then we will respond. So that was good to know. So we'll pass that along, but it's a process, but you can get that. But I was curious. I thought maybe that gal was asking those questions because she wanted to see if she could find the ingredients somewhere else cheaper. And so again, we were like, hey, it's not going to taste great. It's not going to be cheaper. It's not going to be as clean and efficaciously done as well as us. And so I asked them that question. Then I also asked them about the Triadic, because when you search on the website for probiotic, Triadic does not show up. And they said that was a tech problem, not a nutritionist problem, because in the description it says probiotic. It just doesn't populate in the bar. So so yeah, we were just kind of talking briefly about that. And then just in general, I want to make sure that we're keeping this call about, our goals and our accountability and things like that. And that like the admin behind the scenes type stuff, it's like always rolling, but like we're not spending so much time on that we're not staying on track with our goals. So, Crystal Reset, everything going on. It's like, are people planning for that? Are we writing it down, looking for new blood? Like, is there any sort of a game plan with that? Do we want to start, coming up with something together? I feel like a lot of these leadership and team calls are like, what reel are we going to do next? Talking about making comp plans, overview, PowerPoints. I think I am going to just make the decision and give up on the milkshake. I don't even like the app is not user friendly. So if we want to come up with like a one-stop shop page to send people about what Team Unstoppable is, I would so much rather do it on boards. So I think I'm just going to delete the milkshake because it's just not working for me. So unless anybody like really, really, really wants to take over, I can pass them on the username and password. They can do it. But yeah, we'll see if anybody else has
I think the boards are amazing. Again, we don't want to complicate all of that.
Boards is great.
it's like I finally, guys, have some kind of clarity. You know, when I send a message, hey, thank you for liking my reel. Are you interested in learning more? Like I have all this, you know, scripts, and then they say yes, and then I go to the boards and I send them, you know, the video or whatever that they're looking for. I mean, it's just, oh my gosh, like it's so simple now. So just makes it very exciting and
You can
simple
move
to
this
do
one up
and
so
simple to
fast.
duplicate, you know, because it's like when you enroll somebody, you can just say, just follow the steps. It's all there for you, you know?
And they're easy to make. And so like if we drop a new product tomorrow, like it does not take long to whip up a page that's like, here's the Biotic, and like you literally copy and paste. Like
Yes.
that's all you do. Go on the website, copy and paste. I could whip one up for every product that we have, and like just it's there and everything. And so I love boards. It's like my digital, you know, notebook for things too. Like I have work stuff in there, and like just like other things like that I don't know where to put it. It's like, well, I always have my boards. It's up in like every tab. It's in my phone, everything. So yeah, that was one thing that I was like, I need to figure out why I've written milkshake on my to-do lists for months, because like we had come up with that idea that we need to have a one-stop shop for what Team Unstoppable is, where are our calls, you know, all these things, to just have it in one place. So I was like, oh, I remember hearing about Milkshake instead of doing like a Linktree. And now even Linktree is almost like, do we need that? Because boards literally does everything. And so as I'm coming up with my new planner, which is an ADHD planner, but honestly, I was sharing it with some people that don't have ADHD, and they're like, I really, really like it. So, but it does have like a page where it's like, what are my daily to do, daily, weekly, monthly, and then that's in personal and business. So I can kind of decide where it falls, and then ideas for later. And then I like this one, things I've been putting off for far too long. That one's a little
I
bit,
love that. Yes.
but I've said Milkshake on so many things for so long. And now I'm just like, you know what? Nope. I'm just going to switch it over to boards. And then I'm going to give myself a weekly task to update my boards with new photos that I've saved, any promos, anything's coming through, or just making a new page, whatever. And so every week it's like just a check mark. Did I get to my boards, and set it on a Tuesday or whatever? I don't know yet, but so that is that. I still haven't done much. I haven't done anything with the comp plan PowerPoint that I've been talking about forever. And I haven't done anything with the overview, so that we could do an overview. They seem to me in my head, they're like such big projects that would take time, and I need to be focused. And there's always other things that keep coming up and trumping those. And so I've been sending out the big picture to everybody whenever they're asking for a comp plan. And that's been my go-to. So I had this really cool idea of making a comp plan that was like that one call that I did, how to make the 20K in 6 months. And I was going to do one like that with the new comp plan, how to make, you know, X amount of money by March. But it's like every day that we get closer, the shorter time it gets. So I don't know if it's
But
going to get done.
you know what? But didn't you want to wait and see what happens with this 20% PID? Because what if they're going to take it away? You know what I mean? Like we have no
Yeah.
idea, right?
Well, and I mean, what we could do, an idea to like take that and make it a much, much smaller scale, is do a reel, or do like a 2-minute video where it's like not a full on compensation, but it does say, you know, do you want to make $2,000 between now and March? Here's how. And then you just draw it out, or like do a bunch of pictures like back to back. And then, it might just be more enjoyable for me to create and faster. And then also, like you said, you know, like it's not as heavy of a commitment, because we don't know what's going to happen after March. Like it's just a reel, like just a whatever. And so TikTok, real, YouTube short, whatever, as opposed to like an 11-minute long comp plan video with slides and all the other things. So I almost wanted to do it like, you know, have you ever seen those little like, you know, little flip books that you flip, and it's like a little stick figure that like dances? That's kind of what I wanted to do with like the comp plan. Like, you know, you just kind of scroll through it and then there's like little stick figures that are like one for Mary and one for John and they dance. I don't know.
Well, I don't
That
know
would
how
be
you're gonna
so
do it.
fun.
It sounds so complicated, but good luck.
I know. That's like the big ideas that come up and I'm just like, ah, and then I'm like, wait a second, that's not truly doable. Like I can do it. That's the important part. Like I could do it, make it really
Mhm.
cool. But giving myself a smaller, you know, scale something to do. But I know that, you know, Anastasia was saying she wants to do a lot more network marketing type content. And I want to do more like did you guys watch the videos where they're like, come or get ready with me or come with me to do this sort of day? I'm going to do more stuff like that. And one of the ones that I've got to create, I just got a brand new coffee bar and it's all isogenic stuff and coffee and teas and things like that. And it looks so good. And I'm just waiting for a few more finishing touches to like really be like showcase it. But I did a video today of me making my shake. And I want to do a video of like busy mom on the go with her kids, like get ready with me and like me packing my purse with my shake and my e-shot and my, you know, kids snacks and my meal bar and like all that stuff. It's so easy to be healthy and get all the nutrients you need and blah, blah. So like, it is so relatable to other busy moms who are like, you know, throwing in chips and all this other junk, but it's like, no, here, you know, get ready for me. So those are like my ideas. We haven't done a group reel in a while, but I still do have, you know, I made the testimony one. I didn't do it as a reel yet. I just put it on YouTube, but I have it saved and I put the raw video, I think, in the chat. And then,
What
I
if
mean,
we do something? What if we do like, I don't know if everybody cleanses on Wednesday, but they don't have to cleanse on Wednesday. And we do something about like, I don't know how, like the way we feel after we're done with cleanse, you know, or something, you know, and just kind of mention different things that happen when you cleanse for 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever. I don't know. I'm just thinking about different ideas.
yeah,
Because yeah, we haven't done anything in a while.
yeah, we could, I think that's a great idea. Cause like, if, even if we just like write out 6 benefits, like straight from the website or anything like that,
Yeah.
like, and then just assign everybody to say their sentence, you know, where it's like, you know,
Mhm.
so-and-so says this line and then so-and-so says that line. And then, I mean, even each person could have like 2 people could have the cleanse and then like one person with the little bottle and one person, you know, shaken up and then other people could have a snack or a different point system. And we could like, you know, be like e-shot 2 points, hydrate 1 point, you know, things like that.
I
And
Or
don't
we
know
can,
if
oh, go ahead, Elaine.
I was gonna say just not necessarily in the real idea, but like for cleansing. I don't know if you have tried it, but whatchamacallit, both Izzy and I sort of did it unintentionally, but we both had a lot of we like ended the night with protein and the cleanse day the next day was so much easier. Like for whatever reason, like norm because we've cleansed before, but like we had ended like he had taken a protein the tri release before bed, and then I had like just a lot of protein before bed that night just because it was a late night. And so the next day we were cleansing and we both just found it to be really easy, which was reminiscent of when we were doing the ER shred, but like just something as little as protein might be like some good to remind our first time, you know, cleansers
yeah,
in case that is helpful for them too, just because sometimes they're like, oh, it's so hard on a cleanse day. But for whatever reason, that protein at nighttime, like just really did help the next day. So
that's a good, well, that gives me a good idea for a fresh new Canva flyer on like cleanse day tips, because like I just use the same ones over and over again. And it's like, you know, I don't think any of them say anything about, you know, consider something high
protein.
protein right before bed.
Protein snack, yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something that I found like where I noticed the difference. And I was like, oh, I'm going to share this.
Yeah, that's great because like my last cleanse day was just one day and it went so well. And there's a couple things that I noted that I have to always pay attention to. One, I don't need as much sleep that night. I legit like don't fall asleep until really late and then I wake up early the next day. And then it's not like I'm even hungry right away. So like I'm always like, oh, I could easily do a second day, but I didn't do a second day this time because I had an event where I was going to be at. And so, and I went to cycle. And so, back at spin, yay. And so this week I'm like, all right, when can I get 2 days in? It's like every other day is something. And so, but I really want to get a 2 day in because I set myself like weight loss goals again. And it's just because I haven't been focusing on that for a long time. And I backwards planned. I gave myself a number and, you know, it's not always about pounds or whatever, but like, I know how I felt when I was that size and it's different. I'm not going for like bulking up muscles. I'm going for specifically fat loss and for deepening reasons, not just like I want to be skinny. Like there's purpose behind it. And so, so I know I got to get back into that 2 day schedule and I've got to do it. That's how I've done it before. It's how it helps, you know, all the hormones, all the things like that is really, truly the key in the ticket. So, focusing on cleansing, I think would be really good. And so
Yeah.
we could
Yeah.
do a wheel, we could do a Canva idea. And then next week is going to be our vision board. I know I just jumped ship to something else, but I was just thinking of Canva. So next week is our vision board right before our leadership call. And so feel free to invite anybody to that. It's not just specifically to, you know, Unstoppable or Isogenics people or anything like that. So I sent it out in my newsletter today, all that stuff. I also did invite out to all my local contacts, the Optimizing Influence workshop. So I sent that out to a bunch of people as well. And, for our team, for our community calls, this week, Angela's speaking and she is going to do the like section with our topic as well, which is budgeting food. And so, you know, it's one of our objections, right? Like people have a hard time paying for $300 up front for the whole month. And so we're going to be talking about, you know, like shopping outside the aisles at the grocery store, looking for like, you know, buy rice uncooked and cook it yourself versus, you know, same thing with beans and things like that. And saving a few bucks here and there and working your way up. And then the following week, we're talking about hormones. And so that's going to be Lisa King. And I don't know yet if she wants to talk on the hormones. She does have some nutrition knowledge and things like that. And so she may have some good content. But then the next week, starting in February, we'll need to get some the next couple of speaker rotation on. So February 1, talking about calories, February 8th, talking about ketosis, February 15th, talking about cold and flu, and then the 22nd, overcoming plateau. There is the 15th, I will be on a cruise. So I cannot guarantee I will be on either one of the calls. So same thing with the leadership call on Sunday night. So I will try. I did purchase the Wi-Fi for myself on the cruise. So if I can, you know, have a few minutes to myself or whatever, just I'll come, but I want to make sure that I'm setting up the calls that week so that somebody else is good to go on the subject and they have this picture and even my login so I can get recorded and stuff like that. So if you guys have a particular, I know Anastasia, usually evenings are good for you, and Elaine, usually you come in the mornings, right? So we'll just make it work, like as far as sharing your story and if you wanted to talk on any one subject that like you really loved. And then I have it in my calendar as well to come up with the March and April ones soon, just so that don't let those wait till last minute.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Let's see. I think that is all for like, I guess, announcements. We know that the deal for 10% off and the free gift is still going on. There is going to be a gift every month from what I understand for new customers. So they're just said that the adaptogen for the US is this month. And then, yeah, this is going to go through the end of March. And so this month is adaptogen. They haven't announced what next month will be. They wrapped up the leadership pools. Also, I know Elaine, you talked about this a little bit too, but cracking down on like phone numbers. So making sure each unique has, or each account has its own phone number. And then even with like anybody that's in this current challenge, like they're watching to see if you're signing up under other people for you. And so do with that information what you will, if it matters to anybody. And then they did change up the field advisory board. So, and then the start group in the Leaders in the Loop. But any other announcements? I know we're kind of not really going in full order here, but
No, I'm good. I'm just, like I said, right now, honestly, I'm just chugging along.
mhm.
Just trying to find some time to do my stuff every day, and that sometimes doesn't happen, but I'm learning how to let it go and not to be too tough on myself.
Are you is there a goal that you're actively working towards, or are you just trying to sustain or maintain or like?
Well, I mean, I would love to grow. I mean, that's why I have my to-do list where I add people, not every day. Like I said, some days it's just too hard to finish all of my to-do list, but I try to add new people always. I do my reels, I do my stories, and then people who like my stories, the reels, I reach out to them. So I always look for new customers.
Mhm.
Um, and I reached out to some of my current customers asking, telling them about the 20%, and because it would be awesome to get the Crystal Manager bonus. But I don't know, like for me, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like people are just, I don't know, not really interested right now.
I believe in this if you will, but I keep hearing people talk about Mercury retrograde, and that is supposedly this time that like people don't like to commit to things,
Uh,
but there are some contradicting like chart things to do with, the beginning of the year and full moons and setting intentions and things like that. And so it is kind of like one of those things where some people are out there like killing it, and like I can honestly say with my routines and stuff, they are like so good right now. And that is a long time coming. Like I needed this. Like, I mean, I am over here like, dang, look at how good I'm doing with this stuff, which I was struggling for like a good 6 months with a lot of things, but I'm like getting back on top, and it's really, really motivating, feeling good. But like, I haven't had a new customer in a long time, but I've had people who I've signed up basically, for other people. Like they've brought this person to me. They just like dump them on my doorstep, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll do all of the things to sign somebody up. So I have signed people up. They've just not been like my personally enrolled. They're for my two builders right now. But I did sit down with my husband too, and like there's just some like things that we were ordering every single month that were like, let's cut back on, because now that I have it all in this beautiful, coffee bar baker's rack, it's like we've got a lot right now. And it's like I'm not using every single one of these things every day, and I really like having it. But then it's like I did today, I sat down with like everything that I'm using every single day, specifically for my goal for weight loss. And then where are my swing items that I just order every couple of months? And then where am I like, these are good to have, but like I don't
Yeah.
absolutely need them. So I broke everything down and then have it like strategically on the Brad's account, my account, different times of the month and stuff like that, so that we're always good on top. But getting that stuff, you know, like figured out was kind of, it was on our to-do list for a little while, but we're really trying to figure out how to, how much money are we spending every month and how much money are we making every month? And like, what is the goal? You know, like it's great to get our products paid for, but how much on top of our products do we want to get paid? And where's that money going to go? Like, is that cruise fund money, or is that like paying down debt money, or is that, you know, save money or Mardi Gras money? I don't know, like stripper money. I'm just kidding. Like, like we're trying to figure that out, because that is going to be an incentive. That's the reason why. So when I'm sitting here writing down my goal number 2 in my new book here is to hit executive by June. And so it's like, it asks a lot of, so what is your goal? When do you want to receive it? What life area is it? What's my reward? My why, the steps and milestones, my obstacles, solutions, and the habit tracker. And so like, how many people do I need to talk to every day? Because honestly, like, I'm just not seeing a lot of hopeful movement in my previous consultants. So it's like talking to new people, fresh blood, things like that. But again, it kind of goes back to that weird, like, I don't know, like, even if you like, just for the sake of, you know, fun, like, when does Mercury retrograde end? Because the next day, if you trick your mind into thinking you're going to sign up 5 people the next day, then, I mean, shoot, you know, like, keep planting seeds. But it's all, you know, what you, Mercury retrograde 2023. Now I'm looking this up. December 28th to January 18th, and then April 21st to May 14th. So January 19th, it's go time. Oh, just gotta do what you gotta do to get yourself through these days. I'm telling you.
Right, exactly. Just, you know what, here's the thing, and I know it probably sounds awful to Eric Worre, but it's like, just keep working on it. Just don't quit. That's the most important thing, you know, like, yeah, it's kind of like a loser mentality. I always feel guilty when I say that. But again, like, when you have a lot going on, you're going like through really hard time, I feel like, you know, just don't quit.
So there was a segment in Tony Robbins' piece of the Accelerator last year, and I went to that in person at Eric Worre's studios, and he was up there and he was talking about the 4 seasons and how the 4 seasons come periodically in history for segments of years. So think of like, winter is coming, Game of Thrones, right? We are in winter, and winter is just like we think it is. It's colder, darker, it's harder times, you know, we're looming on this recession, all these things. Like, so in history of mankind, we as a whole are in winter, and historically speaking, it only lasts for so many years. And then we get into springtime, and then spring means new beginnings, all this blooming, all of this new growth, like beautiful things. And so that is upon us, and we just have to be strong in the winter and hunker down and do what we know we got to do to survive and get through this, because spring is coming. Now, in your lifetime, in your personal lifetime, we go through seasons as well. And so there's, you know, the child rearing season for some people, there's the career building season for some people, there's all of these different sections that show up differently. And, you know, for the majority of like the 20s, like, that is like summer party time. Yeah, this is awesome. And then you get into like this, you know, fall, where it's like, okay, things are changing, my back is aching, like now I got kids vomiting everywhere, or, you know, I'm trying to figure out how to pay off all the student debt, you know, like, so you go through fall, and then there's middle age can be winter. And so for a lot of people, you know, mainly understanding, recognizing this for our prospects, like, who's in winter right now that needs some hope of spring. And then, you know, when your kids start moving out, or like they start to be able to do things on their own and things like that. That's when spring comes and there's new growth, and you're like, hey, that's when you see, like women get back out in the party scene again, and you're like the they get divorced and things like that, like, I mean, things like this come, like, if you look at cycles and patterns, it can help you feel like you're not alone if you're in any of these cycles and patterns. And so it's like thinking in this season, it's like researching where you're at, like analyzing, where is my season in my lifetime? Where is the season at as history, society? Where are we actually in the planetary, year? And like acting accordingly. And so I just thought that was a really, really interesting way of like not only validating some things, but like giving hope and giving you direction on what you should be like doing at this time. And so one thing I had coached my client for health coaching through the holidays was like maintenance. And then even one of my newest clients that came in under Monica, he had a bad accident. He's like a 7-year-old, and he cracked his head open, and he's like, well, I didn't lose any weight my first month. And I was like, that's a good thing. You didn't gain any weight because your body was under so much stress and pressure. Now that you're on the heel and mending and all that stuff. And he did run out of his shake. Like he, used it. So I'm like, you are about to have an amazing month. Like, I promise, like you're all healed up. Everything's good to go. And so it's just recognizing that sometimes maintenance and stability is good too. And so it's all that perspective. I watched this cute little TED talk about people who are lucky, and this woman that studies luck and like, is it real? And is it all this stuff, whatever. And it's different mindsets. It's about, she brought it back to gratitude, how you view yourself, how you feel ideas, how you feel about other people and things like that. And it was really interesting, but anyway, so the things that pop up in your head when you're talking about different, areas of life. I have not gotten to my other goals yet. So I've got to figure out my goals so I can start doing my pictures for my vision board. And I also did a Canva digital one, like later. Have I ever showed you guys my background? So that one I want to change up because some of it is lifetime. Like we want to own a, house in the cabin or a house in the mountains someday, but that's most likely not going to happen in 2023. So I want to switch my, and everything says like $1 million on there and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, realistically, can that happen in 2023? There's a chance, right? There's always a chance, but I want to get serious and like have that backwards planning where it's like, if I want my bank account to grow $20,000 this year, how many thousands of dollars is that each month? Or like, is it $500 this month, $1,000 next month, $2,000 the next month? And I got to have that like plan. And I literally look at my screen all the time, even though there's windows up, but like I see these pieces all the time. And then my vision board's going to go right behind me so that I'm staring at it. And then I have not had my leader in action sheet out for a long time. I put it away when I was cleaning up one day and never got it back out. And then same thing with my executive roadmap. I had that out for a long time too. And then I wrote Carol's and Molly's on it, and I didn't have one. So I was like, focus on getting them to executive. And so I've got to get some of that stuff back on my walls and in my eyeballs site. So do you guys do things like that too?
Yeah, well, I haven't done leader in action or anything like this just because really there's not much going on. I mean, it's important to have a map. I get it, but I just do what I can.
Well, and it is that, writing, putting your intention in pencil. So it's like the week that it starts, like put it in pencil, what your goal is, whether it's just to put one in each block or one in each week, and then go back and put in like a green or blue marker or something when you do actually get or put it in a page protector and then do a dry erase marker. something
Well,
like,
it's also good because I don't know necessarily with the bonuses, but like I think they kept some of the bonuses for like the hire, right? Maybe in the leader in action. But when I was talking to some of the other leaders, when they didn't keep track because they were, like you, Sadie, helping other people do get to their levels, right? And helping them enroll and supporting. They missed a point in their own that month, and that cost them like the executive lifestyle bonus or whatever it may be. But like it's one of those points that like if you had been paying attention, you would have, that could have been an extra $1,000, or that could have been an extra seven, and you could have been real, like when you have that goal in mind and then you're keeping track of it, then you're like, oh, I could have easily had done one more if I had known to focus on that.
yeah. Yeah. And Robin, she'll, I'll talk to her one day and she'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm only at, this many leader in action points and I need 14 more or whatever by Sunday, which is in, like a couple of days. And so then she just like grinds and she like gets it, because if she doesn't have those numbers, then she doesn't reach, what she needs to. So
Exactly.
and like there's beautiful little things that you recognize about different people, right? Like there's some people that they have the background, they have the sales knowledge, the marketing knowledge. Elaine Villiver, I just had coffee with her briefly, and she has sales and marketing degree, and she has like all of this stuff, whatever. And she was just like, but I'm so bad at sales and I hate sales and all that stuff. So that's like her, saying. And I was like, but some people have that naturally. Some people have the following already. Some people have that already. Then other people are like, sometimes I look at Robin and I'm just like, really, truly, like how, like I analyze, I'm like, how is she so successful? Like one, she has no fear, like she doesn't care. And two, like she is so like the way that she speaks to some people, sometimes I'm like, you got to be a little bit more serious, but like it works for her. She's just like, so, it just rolls out. And I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but she'll just be like, I don't know if you know this, but I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you could earn $200 by sharing with 2 people this week. Like it's so automatic, and I feel unnatural saying it myself. So I'm like, if I feel unnatural, they're going to tell that it's unnatural, even if I'm faking, because I don't normally speak in that kind of like tone like she does. And so it has never worked for me, no matter how much I've tried. And then like, because she is so like good with mastering the things like leader in action and mastering the like those certain skills she's got set. And I'm like, that is what, I can get on board with. I can get on board with like keeping that as a forefront and things like that, where it's like, I may not use her verbiage because it doesn't work for me. Like I've really been enjoying the team evolution calls on Mondays at 9. It feels like a grown-up call. Like they're very mature. They're like so eloquent in their words. Everything is so great. Like, and so I've been enjoying that. And then I went to Tribe Time last week because David Wood was on, and I saw some really good people on there too. I was like, well, dang, can't go to every single call all of the time, but it's like, you just pick up little nuggets and little verbiage and stuff that you're like, that feels more like me. That sounds right. And that is something that I can say and feel confident in and not feel like they can tell that I'm being somebody else. So I was going to also try to put together like one, just even a message. It doesn't have to be anything else, but like when all of the available calls are, so that you can like screenshot it and have it. Because somebody asked earlier today about the Monday Team Vision Cast Zoom ID and stuff. And it's like, now that I believe most every team call, I think that corporate told them to, or somebody must have suggested, because everybody opened their calls. And so, and we're not doing the vision calls on Tuesday anymore, but we are doing the Monday and Thursday skills training. That's at 9 Pacific, I believe. So I haven't caught those ones yet, but there's just so much to like going on. So it's like, let's just organize it, pick your flavor, pick your time, like what makes sense to you. And yeah, I have a couple of our floater leaders that come in and out, and they're just like Amy Vasquez is one. I just met her in Dallas, and she's not too far from us, and so in California. And so I met her, and so she's like, explain to me what Unstoppable is again. And I was just like, this is just a place that you can come if you want to. And she's like, well, are you guys running to executive? And I'm like, as far as I know, I think everybody is. And she was like, okay, well, there's this other call that like everybody's like really focused on executive. And I was like, go to that if you want to. Like, I mean, if that's where you feel like you're going to get the most out of it, like there's no requirement for anything to be a part of any of this. This is just an additional place for you. And so she appreciated that. She appreciated the explanation. And so it's like, she'll pop on when she can, is basically she left it off. And so it's like, you know, you look at your time, you look at the teams and stuff. I'm not going to be prioritizing Team Vision Cast. It's when I can. I'm not going to kill myself trying to watch the replays or anything like that. I still feel like they're good information and all of that, but I do like to hear from other groups too. And then I can't be on 9 hours a week on Zoom.
Right. I did have a question for both of you. I had a teammate who wanted to know, because they listened to Emily's call on Thursday, and wanted to know what CRM she uses. I said I would find out. I don't know what CRM she uses.
I don't think I've ever heard her say which one.
Mm.
She doesn't really talk about Penny, so I don't know if it's Penny.
I heard the other leaders talk about Penny, not her necessarily.
But you know, she has a personal assistant, like she has like essentially like a team.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I don't know what all she does truly for herself.
True.
And then because she has a completely different clientele set for her it factor that aren't necessarily Isagenix only prospects, like she prospects as people for her it factor across all network marketing. And so she could easily use something like Salesforce. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know that I would I would say I could text her right
no,
now
it's
and be like, hey,
It's
but I'm like,
okay.
I don't know if that
It's
would be
fine.
weird. So
It's all
we can
good.
ask her at Optimizing Influence Workshop.
True.
Team Vision Company.
When is this the accelerator thing starts, you know, that they were talking about last Monday?
What did they say? So I didn't really get a very clear understanding of like what.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not super clear about that.
Starting January 16th, so tomorrow.
Oh, so tomorrow.
I mean, it almost seems like it could just be like, I know that they're working on systems and structures. And so that they've been saying for a long time. And then Angela like has said that they're working on really coming up with those systems. So hopefully that's what this is about. Like, you know, systems to learn the skills, systems to, you know, grow the team, things like that. So I don't know if they're just finally like structuring it out, but I don't know for sure if I can make it on tomorrow. We're gonna go do some studio tours. We're gonna go to Sony and Paramount, so we haven't been there yet, so it'll be fun. We should be back in time, but again, I'm not gonna like rush myself to kill to get onto it. But if other people are saying that it's great, then I'll watch the replay. But unless like Hayden messages me separately and is like, hey, will you come on and speak? Like sometimes they do randomly call on me or say like, is Sadie there? And I hate to be like not there, but I also have other things going on. So it's like, but yeah.
All right, so what is our assignment for this week, or Do we have an assignment this week?
I would say it is definitely clarifying and figuring out those goals. And, you know, with the vision board party, whether you come or not, I think that this is still, you know, I think even in my mind, I was like, it's too late. It's already halfway through the month, but like you get this whole month to like really kind of set some ideas and tones and things like that. And so I know, like for me, I explained how this goal worksheet is for me. And I'm coming up with 6 major ones. And so the ones that are specific to Isogenics are the ones that I'm going to share with everybody in this group as far as accountability, where it's like, okay, guys, you know, I don't care if my numbers are known. I think that transparency is a big thing that's trending in a lot of people's content right now, where they're sharing, this is how much I made on Facebook. This is how much I made on YouTube and TikTok. And like, I've even thought about doing that with, I mean, Robin used to show a lot of people's how much money they made each month and stuff like that. So it's like transparency. This is how much I made year 1. This is how much I made year 2. This is how much I made year 3. Like, you know, being like, this is what it is. And then, or even just like the different months of the year, like, but, transparency with like, okay, this is how many consultants I have. This is how I feel about them. One is unstable. One is super stable. And these are all the former consultants, and then rating them, you know, these are all 2s. This one's a 4. This one's a, you know, trying like 7, you know, but like, just getting nitty gritty with our specific Isogenics goals and sharing them and having your at least one person as an accountability and sharing with, you know, what you are doing to change that, if that's what your goals are. Sound good? Or
Okay,
any other like
sounds
specific
good.
ideas?
Sounds good. Yes.
Okay.
I actually was thinking too, like that it might be fun, maybe not for that, but like maybe the accountability part or something where we're like asking each other questions and almost like someone gave me the idea today, and as you're talking about it, I was like, oh, that might be actually kind of fun. Where so the story goes where you know, like some people have this dream of like, I want the perfect man, right? Like, oh, but you dream about it, but it's kind of like your vision board. You never put it down, your goals, you never write it down. And so they were in front of their doctor, and the doctor was like, why aren't you married? Like all these questions. And they're like, yeah, I know, right? And so then they're like, well, I'm going to write you a prescription. Tell me exactly. So then it's kind of like you're asking the questions and they're doing it. So she's like, so it's like all the things that you want to do, but you don't put it down. And like, they're about manifestation. So they're like, okay, this is what you want. So then you're telling someone, they're writing it down. Here's your prescription. And then you have it. And then those are your goals. That's what you want. But the crazy thing is that prescription for the man actually came true.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
yeah, that's like the vision boards, right? Like, so I feel like sometimes when you're doing it yourself, you're like not necessary, but like if someone's asking you the questions, you're like, just like, oh, this is what, and then they're like, actually, I mean, something simple as writing it down sometimes for yourself is hard.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Yeah.
Well, so, you know, the idea of creating your perfect avatar business partner.
Yeah.
So I recorded myself while I was driving. It's a 12-minute long video of describing my perfect business partner. And the like smart thing to do is to watch that video, you know, every couple of days or whatever, every so often, to remind myself that I'm posting to her and that I am attracting her and that I am looking for her and open for her. Because if I'm posting stuff that she doesn't think's funny or that she doesn't think is like relatable, then she's never going to find me. Like, we're never going to, you know, partner up. And so it's like you can do that, but you've got to keep up the work. So it's like, if you get the prescription, you got to look at it every day, just like a vision board. So I think that's a really cute idea. I really like that, actually.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off because I'm like, oh, it's so, yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
done.
If there's anything that we
for
can do,
all the ideas. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Okay,
All
have
right.
a good night.
Bye. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.